Yeah, we're here. So do you want to start? Start? Okay. So I see we're the last remaining four, huh? So like, do some of the other students, do they try to like join the next session or something if they feel like they didn't?
shows you the three processes, right? So you can say that here we see a high-level process flow diagram. It shows the different processes. It starts with a pre-login, login, and post-login, right? And then you see this little thing coming out on the side. This is called a call out, right? Call out is anything that is providing additional information for the box. So, when you're reading the diagram, you can say, pre-login, this includes like all the processes prior to the user getting onto the login screen, right? Then you have the login process, which basically includes all the processes related to the submission and authentication of the information provided by the users. And then, the last step is the post login. This includes all the processes that lead the user to his or her configured homepage, right? Basically what you read right now, sir. Any questions, guys? So the login process is typically divided into pre-login, login, and then post-login. Authentication is happening in the login phase. Entitlements, visibility is happening in the post-login, right? What are you entitled to see? Any questions?
No.
All right. Who's next? Is it? So basically, we'll skip 3.2, which is current limitations. It's just saying that, the login is not captured under a single document. So we have to rewrite this. And plus the old documents are not up to date, right? All right, great. Description of the requirements. So section 4 starts off talking about basically what are the exact requirements. So who's next? Who's up here? After Ozair is who? Sorry. What's Rahman? Rahman?
Sir, I just have a question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So these all are the steps that has been written by the BA.
Of course.
Yeah, and this has been like approved by the client as well.
Yeah, that's why the BRD was signed off by the business head, right?
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to confirm because if there is a written function that they doesn't understand or uh, they need
These
some more
functions were given
clarification.
by them.
Okay,
You didn't get it from the air. You
okay.
collected these requirements from them.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Required business process. The login functionality is the cumulative steps involving in getting the user to view the client website. It involves pre-login process, includes user ID and password creation, PIN mailers, user profiling, etc. B. Login process. The actual login process involving two-factor authentication. C. Post-login. The next steps in CWS after user is successfully logged on. The login process is in a scope for this VRD. The other sections have been briefly discussed to set the context.
Let's continue with 4.3. So here we start to talk about the specific requirements, right? So we start to talk about 4.3.1, which is login related. Continue, Raymond.
4.3.1 Login. Login process authenticates the user into the client website. There are two kinds of users, the external users or the client and internal user or Citibank employees. All the users are classified into user types who are allowed to access and navigate through the CWS as per configured preference privileges. Currently, the user types are classified as 0 through 8 as below. A. User type 0, client, I am independent asset manager. B. User type 4, demo user. C. User type 1, banker team member. D. User type 2, help desk. E. User type 3,
Yeah, you
regional
don't have to say
administrator.
A, B, C, D. You just say user type zeros, user type 4, user type 1,
Okay.
because they're seeing the document, right? You
Yes.
don't have to keep
Okay.
saying A, B, C, D.
Okay.
They're
Uh,
already seeing it, right? So you can
okay.
say these are the user types as listed below. We have user type 0, which is client or IAM. You have type 4, which is demo user. You have type 1, which is banker team. Type 2, help desk, like that. Get what I mean?
Okay, sure. So user type 2, help desk, user type 3, regional administrator, user type 5, profiler, user type 6, system administrator, user type 7, superview user type 8, transaction administrator. In the future state, the banker and profiler user types will be removed and two new user types, LFG survey admin and test admin, will be added.
So basically, like 0 and 4 are the external users, meaning client IDs. Do you know what I mean? While 1 through 8 are all considered internal users
Internal.
or Citibank employees, right? You can see that, right? Banker team member, help desk, regional admin, profiler, system admin, all sound like internal users, right? Like bank employees, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Why do we have so many more internal users compared to external users? Well, internal users have a job segregation, right? Some functions help desk can do. Some more functions go to a regional admin. Even more functions go to the system admin, right?
Yeah.
So there's the checks and balances on the internal user side. That is why you need these different user types so that when you come to entitle the functions, you can give the entitlements according to the user type. You get what I mean? Everybody understand the word entitlements, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the last line, I see in the future, the bankers and profiler user types will be removed and two new user types, LFG survey admin and test admin will be added. So the bracket that they use, so the end of the bracket, you see like two new, I mean, is that wrongly used here? I mean, or this is the system, I'm just curious.
You could have put it as bullet points underneath, or you could put it in the bracket, doesn't matter.
So no, I might say the
Better off
brackets,
making-
sorry.
Because it's providing extra information on the user types, right?
Yeah, no, here the user bracket is like LFG survey and admin, survey admin, test admin. I thought after that the bracket would end and will be added. I mean, so I'm just curious about is that a norm or
No,
just a,
you can add that. Sure.
okay, okay, no problem.
You want to put the bracket after the test admin. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah, okay, okay,
It's a matter of grammatically how you want to spell it out.
okay.
Color can be spelled COLOR or COLOUR.
Yeah, yeah, yes.
The
Got
color,
it.
you know what I mean? It's just a matter of writing it. All right, let's continue.
As part of the login process, the user submits his/her user ID and password on the login page of the CWS. This is the first level of authentication checks. Besides performing necessary authentication checks of the submitted user information, the system would perform browser checks at the stage of compliance to the CWS security policy. In case the browser fails to meet the norms, an error message will be displayed, and the system would direct the user to follow steps to allow access to the CWS. Successful authentication would lead the user to the appropriate page. What is to say, external user to the second level authentication page and internal user to appropriate home page.
IE is for example.
Okay, well, I learned. Okay, example. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So,
All right, good. Here we go. Some more.
external user on the success of level 1 authentication are directed to the second level of authentication checks. Example: digital key or machine tagging authentication. US, Latin America, UMEA users follow machine tagging or digital key authentication. Asia Pacific users follow only the digital key authentication. If it success, if it succeeds, the existing user is directed to the configured homepage as per user preference privileges. In case the authentication is not successful, an error is thrown along with the reason. The possible options are also shown to the user, which can help the user to log into CWS. In case of the first-time user, the client will be directed to the appropriate screen to reset their initial password, then to enable the second level of authentication checks, activation of digital key in case digital key flag. In the current state, this flag is called two-factor flag, is set on, else the challenge response questions and answer page to select the choice of questions. First-time users are then asked to accept the system terms and conditions. The terms and conditions can also be printed out. The user log in through different pages of various regions: US, Latin America, EMEA, and Asia Pacific. Currently, there are separate login screens. External clients, user 0 and 4, internal banker users, user type other than 0 and 4.
Do we just get disconnected?
Yeah, sorry, you are here.
I think he got kicked.
No, no, I think Scott got
I'm
us
here,
out.
I'm here, I'm here. Give me one
Oh,
second. Just got pulled into a session. 1 second. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? No? All right. So here you can also see one of the things here is that they also added some screenshots of what the external user's login page looks like and what the actual internal user's login screen looks like. Now remember, typically, if you're designing a brand new system, you won't have these screenshots, right? You're only going to have like, mock-ups or wireframes. But since this was a re-platform, in other words, the application was already up, and we were rewriting it, and they had told us that, look, guys, 90%, 95% of the functionality would remain as is. They're not looking to reinvent the wheel. Even the UI will remain as is. Only thing they're trying to do is they're trying to re-platform it. In other words, change the underlying technology stack. You understand? And rewrite the code. So it's as if, you're taking your old car and you are like gutting the entire engine out, the transmission out, but the interior, the exterior of the car will remain as is. You understand? That's basically what re-platforming means. It means that you keep the functions as is, you change the underlying technology stack. So the original technology stack on the CWS used to be the WebLogic platform, Sun Solaris WebLogic. That was the underlying platform that was used to build the original CWS legacy application, which was 9 years old then, right? So basically, the Sun Solaris WebLogic platform was sunsetting. What does sunsetting means? They would be no longer providing support for that platform. So we had to migrate off of it. So we were moving away from WebLogic, Sun Solaris, to IBM's WebSphere platform. Okay. So we had IBM consultants coming in for this project also, right? So we would be changing the underlying platform from a WebLogic to a WebSphere, right? And as part of that, they wanted us to rewrite the entire code base, but keeping the functionalities as is, including the UI, the user interface. They would be adding a few new things. So, it would be very easy to do the requirements for this project. If we had the old BRD and all the different change requests that have happened, all I got to do is go through that, compile it together, and then put it together in the new business requirements document, correct? Yes,
Yes.
right? But the problem was nobody had a copy of the original BRD, the original FRD, and nobody was maintaining a actual repository of the change requests that had happened through the years. So we basically had to re-engineer this BRD and FRD by talking to the business stakeholders and playing around with the application, right? Just like how you guys are getting the homework assignment, right? You're looking at eBay application. We should be looking at eBay application, right? And trying to do the use cases that have been given to you, right? And then document the process that you discovered, correct? You're reverse engineering the requirements from the actual application. You understand? Same thing was happening here. Any questions?
Sir, you used two words to explain this screen. One was mock-up and the other, I
No, no.
couldn't get.
This is an actual user
This
interface.
is
This is
actual,
the
but
actual UI.
instead, yeah,
Before this, right? So let's say you are building a brand new application, right, Rahman?
yes, sir.
If you're building a brand new application, or let's say you're building a brand new mobile app,
Mm-hmm.
would you have the actual user interface for the mobile app?
No, no, no.
Okay.
That's why you used two terms. One is mock-up, the other I couldn't get it. What was the other?
Wireframe.
Wireframe. Okay, okay.
So
That's good.
first comes a wireframe. Okay. A
Yes.
wireframe is nothing but a outline of what the screen would look like, right? So it'll have like a box, and then we'll have different boxes inside the big box to show you, this is where the header will go, this is where the footer will go, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
imagine if you were drawing this diagram right here as a wireframe, it would be like one big box, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
you would have a small box here, and you would write the word login, and then
Okay.
you would have these small boxes here. So you'd have one box here, another box here, another box here, and you would
Yeah.
put, there would be advertisement here, advertisement here, advertisement here, right? Then you
Yes.
would have this one top big box here, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
would say header here, right? So this is the page's header, right?
Right.
And
Right.
then on the bottom, you would have another big box, and you would say the footer will go here. So it
Okay.
is like a skeleton of what the page will look like, right? So
Yes.
looking at a wireframe, I know, okay, it's going to have the header here on the top. There will be a footer here on the top. There will be the login module on the box here, right? And then
Right.
there will be, well, you don't see it here. There should be actually a player here, one that plays like videos when you log in, right? There should be an RF player here
Right.
that you're not seeing. It was down, I
Mm.
guess, the day they took the picture, right?
Yes.
And then you have your advertisement here, advertisement here, right? The logo will go right here. So you would have the word header here, right, in the middle. And then you
Mhm.
would have logo here to show that, okay, the logo will go here, but you would not have the actual logo, right? Then from that wireframe, the outline structure, you
Mhm.
can make a mock-up.
Okay.
A
From
mock-up
wireframe
is
to
a little
mock-up.
bit more detailed, right? This is what probably the screen will look like, right?
Yeah.
And then the UID, the user interface design, will take that mockup and will actually put what the actual screen should look like,
Okay.
because they know what is the right format, what is the right font, what is the letter sizing and everything, and all of that will come in the UID, the user interface design.
Okay.
So they will make this mock-up and they'll tell you, okay, will be this type of logo. And they will even give you the actual image of the logo, right? That the UID, the user, I mean, the UI developer, right? The front-end developer, he
Yeah.
takes the user interface design and he actually starts to develop the front-end screen, right? So you have a wireframe, then a mock-up, and then you have the
User
actual
interface.
user
User
interface design.
interface. Okay.
And then the actual front-end developer will take that user interface design and will convert the design into the actual screen,
Inter screen.
actual interface. Yes.
Thank you.
Clear?
Yeah, clear.
All right. So now we come to the actual requirements. So you can see the actual requirements. How many KBRs do we see here? How many KBRs, class?
6.
There are a total of 6 KBRs.
Yeah.
And the KBR numbers are log 1 through log 6.
6.
Why are they not numbered like KBR1, KBR2, KBR3? Because remember, there are 13 BRDs and 13 FRDs, right? If you numbered every one of the first requirement in every BRD as KBR1, how many KBR1s would you be running with?
So many of them.
13.
Yeah.
right? You'd have 13 KPR ones.
Yeah.
So when you would go into an RTM and you mapped the entire requirements for the project, how do you map 13 KPRs once? You can't, right? So you have to put a unique identifier. And how do you put a unique identifier? You put it in front. So this one is like, say, log1, log1, right? KBR number. Account reporting would be like AR1, right? Account details would be AD1. You understand how I'm making it unique? Everybody clear? There was another one for, products and services. So that was PS1. Everybody understand? So this way, when I put all of these into the RTM, I have all of the requirements for the entire project in one document, right? Any questions? So this is a very unique situation where these guys, and by these guys, I'm talking about there were actually two separate BAs in this project. There was one BA that was working with the business side and was helping the business to come up with the business requirements, right? So the guy that wrote the BRD is not the same guy that wrote the FRD. The FRD was done by a separate BA that was working with the technology side and was trying to convert the business requirements into functional requirements. So the guy that wrote the BRD is not the same that wrote the FRD. So because of that, these guys decided to document the key business requirements in the form of use cases. So the first 5 KBRs, log 1 through log 5, has 5 use cases in it. UC1, UC2, UC3, UC4, UC5. I have no idea why they abandoned that process, and for log 6, they did not put in UC6. They should have. Might as well, right? You're doing everything. So typically, you don't find use cases in the BRD, right? Because BRD focuses on what functions and what features need to be built rather than trying to explain how the function will work, right? But even with their use cases that they wrote, these are like high level use cases. They're not very, very detailed use cases. Although to you guys, you're going to freak out when you see it. To you, you'll feel like it's very detailed, but the FRD was even more detailed. All right, so let's start now. So Samraksha, let's start reviewing the external and the internal use cases.
Key business requirement LOG1 use case 1 general user login to CWS detailed description LOG 1.1 description allow the user to log on the CWS cover the first level of authentication actors generic site users user type 0 to 8.
Okay, so you can see this is another way of writing a use case, but you can see that the use case, right? You have all the same attributes of a use case. So you have your use case ID, correct? Right?
Yeah,
You
description.
have the use case
Yes,
name,
name, description.
right? Then you have your use case description, and you have your use case
Actors.
actors. So these are elements or attributes of a use case, correct?
Yeah.
What other things do you think I'm going to find ahead? So I got the ID, I got the name, description, actors. What else comes in a use case? What are the things should I be
Precondition,
expecting? Precondition, good.
post condition,
Post condition, good.
basic path, alternative path,
Basic flow,
basic
alternative
flow,
flow,
flow, yeah,
right? Okay, perfect.
and exceptional flow.
If they have,
If they have, yeah.
yeah, this guy did not put an exceptional flow, but the other ones you did. By the way, guys, another good thing for you, these are graphical use cases. So if they are graphical use cases, what am I expecting to see? What? What makes a textual use case into a graphical use case?
UML diagram.
What kind of diagram? Well, UML diagrams again. You guys keep sticking with that UML. What
Sorry.
diagram in
Use
UML?
case diagram.
No, not the use case diagram. Use case
Process
diagram
flow.
will show all the functionalities, right? Process flow. So Samraksha. You can see it's been a crazy night. I can't even say your name correctly. So guess what log 1.2 is, Samraksha? It is a,
Entity relationship.
URL.
did you just say entity relationship? Acha, name all the different entities. Who said entity relationship?
Sir, me is there.
Huh?
Was there effect?
Zara batana zara what all the entities you see here. You understand what an entity is, right?
Yes, sir.
It's a system, a person, and the interaction. Yeah, दिखा जरा मुझे where is an entity listed?
Yeah. No.
An entity diagram, right? As soon as you see this, what is the symbol?
Decision making.
Decision box.
Decision box. Where the hell do you think which diagram has decision boxes in it, yaar?
Just flow.
Process flow.
Process flow diagram.
All different, and then you will never find a decision box in a use case diagram, would you? Oh, how the hell is it doing that, right? Would you find a decision box in a entity relationship, aka data flow, aka interface diagram? No, right? So this clearly outlines that, hey, it is a
Process flow diagram.
process flow diagram. For what process, Samraksha?
Password is encrypted.
Password is encrypted process flow diagram.
Enter the URL for the
Alright, that's the process. What is the process of the diagram? Yeah, go ahead, say it.
log 1.2. Log.
So what is log 1.2? Oh, log 1.2 is a process flow diagram for what?
General user
General user login to CWS.
Correct. Got it? It's the, of course, it's the name of the diagram, right?
Yeah.
All right. So when you introduce, you say, you should tell them, okay, guys, a log 1.2 is a process flow diagram for a general user logging into CWS, because that's what this process flow diagram is showing you, right? Now, when you walk anybody through a process flow diagram, which you will be doing in a few seconds, Samraksha, you have to keep in context the one that is doing the action. Okay, so typically in a process flow diagram, there are two that will be doing the action. Of course, one of them is the user, and the other one is the
system.
Those are the typically two. Now you can have cases where you may have more than one system. You understand?
Mm.
If that is the case, then you need to name the system. You understand?
Yeah.
For example, if in our example, there is one use case where user is going to be using PayPal to pay for his purchase, right? In that example, you will have a user, you will have eBay system, and you will have PayPal system. You got it? So you simply can't say system because there are two different systems. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Just like if you had a buyer and a seller, both of them are users, correct?
Yes.
Then you have to mention this is a buyer function, this is a seller function, and this is a system function. You understand?
Yep.
So keep that in context. For example, the first one, what is the first process box?
Enter the URL for CWS.
So you should keep in your mind, you should read this in your mind, and you should know who's doing this action. So who enters the URL for CWS?
User.
Correct, the user. So when you read this box, you should say the user will enter the URL for CWS. Make sense?
Yeah.
And then what's the next process?
Browser check passed.
Browser check passed. So who's doing this check?
System.
System. So you need to say it from a system's point of view. The system will perform a browser check, or the system will validate the user's browser. Say that again. The system will,
validate the user browser.
correct? That's what's happening in this box, correct?
Yeah.
But since it's a decision, there can be at a minimum two outcomes, right?
Yeah.
What does the no show?
Display
What
error.
happened to the browser check? Now, what happened to the browser check? The browser check
Failed.
failed. So you need to say it. If the browser check fails after you've told the people that the system will validate the user's browser, if the browser check fails, which is the no, right?
Yeah.
Then what's happening?
This system will display error.
Very good. System will display an error, right? So you're keeping in context who's doing the work. You understand?
Yeah.
It creates a better picture in the mind of the person that is looking at this diagram. All right. So
Yeah.
you do the failure case here first because the failure does not continue. You see that? It
Mm.
ends. And then after you've done the failure, you go and do the positive scenario and you would say if the browser check
Pass.
passes, which is the yes, right? You did not say if yes or if no. Don't say that. Say the scenario, right? Creates a better picture. Then what would happen?
System redirects the user to login page.
So here they actually put the word system, so made your life easier.
Yeah.
All right, so continue. What happens next?
So after the system redirect the user to login page,
Mhm.
the user entered the username and password.
Good. So you read the box. Good. Now, since it has a call out, after you've read the process, you must read the call out to give the additional information. The password is, the password is encrypted at this stage. You got it? So when you enter the user ID and the password, the system will encrypt it right there and then, so that if you're sitting in Starbucks cafe using the Wi-Fi there, you don't want to be submitting your user ID and password in clear text across the Wi-Fi, right? Anybody can intercept that. You understand? And if some bad guy is sitting there looking at you logging into your banking website, he may actually have a transmitter trying to catch the information. He may catch your user ID and password if it's going on clear text. You understand? So to prevent that, we encrypt the user ID and the password here.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
And then user submit
What?
the username and password.
Correct. Give more information. All right, perfect. Then what happens?
And then system verify is this successful or not.
Well, you can even say system verifies the username and
Password.
password, right?
Yeah.
Now read the call out. This is the
First level of authentication.
So this is the first level of authentication. Remember, this is a two-factor application, right? So there is more than one level of authentication. This is the first level of authentication. Okay, good. So you showed the process. Now let's talk about the outcomes.
If the
Mhm. Good.
if the username and password is verified successfully, then no, not successfully, then system
Alright.
display the error.
Uh-huh.
And if it is verified successfully, then
No,
authentication.
don't stop. Don't, you got to complete the loop. After you display an error, does it the process end there?
And yeah, goes to the system direct the user to login page.
Right. So complete the flow, right? So system will display an error and would redirect the user back to the
Login page.
login page, right? Complete the flow.
Okay.
And
If the
if the
system
authentication is successful, then the user would move forward. Authentication would be completed here.
yeah.
First factor authentication, not the complete one. All right. All right. So now we broke you up a lot. Let's walk it through as if you were giving the demo and nobody's going to ask you a question. Clear? Start from the top. Let's go.
Okay. So user entered the URL for the CWS. Then the system check is the browser passed. Yeah, if it is passed and if it is failed, then the system display the error, and if it is passed, then the system direct the user to the login page, and then the user enter the username and password, where the password is encrypted, and then submit, and system
Breathe, Samraksha, breathe. Breathe
okay.
between your boxes. Go ahead.
And then system verify it is successful or not. If not, then it will show the display error.
Who is
And
this it? Never heard of him.
sorry,
You said it will display an error. Never heard of
system
any it.
system display the error and direct the user to the login page.
Good.
And for and the and if it is successful, then the authentication is successful.
Correct. Good. Good job. All right. So here comes the next attribute of the use case, which is
Basic flow.
your basic flow. Okay. Log 1.3 is basic flow. Go ahead. Let's go.
The user navigate enter the URL for the client website. The system check the user's browser see the precondition one. The system present the user with a login screen and promotes them to enter their ID and password. The login screen also display link to digital key, activate and learn more about email fraud and private bank security policies. Need assistance, contact us for web support, terms and conditions. And number 5, the login screen may display the system notification information. Message will display if set up by the system admin. 6 number, internal users should select their region before login on. The user enter a valid CWSSA ID and password and submit their entry. The user can enter up to 12 character CWSSA ID. The user can enter up to a 16 character password. The rule for the password setup have been detailed in section 4.3.1.3.4. 7. On click of the submission button, client is authenticated. The authentication will be done on E2EE server for external user, where the encrypted password and the username are validated. For the internal user, the authentication will be done on through City's Sso Framework. If the validation is successful, the user is authenticated.
So I don't know if you guys know, E2EE stands for end-to-end encryption. Okay.
Okay.
It means that, from the time you enter your user ID and password, it gets encrypted all the way through it getting validated and coming back. Okay. And SSO, CT's SSO framework, SSO is also a common terminology. It stands for, anybody know? Single sign-on. Okay, single sign-on. Single sign-on is basically, when multiple websites are using the same login mechanism and share the user ID and password. For example, if you have Google Mail and Google Docs, when you go between your Gmail and your Google Docs, does Google Docs make you sign in again? Right? It is using the same mechanism. So it checks if you originally logged in to Gmail, and if the Gmail was successful, how long ago it was, and if the login is within a special threshold, then you don't need to be entering the user ID and password again. You use single sign-on. Understand? And this one actually should not be here. Go ahead, read number 9.
Alternate flow. Number 1. In the step 2 of the basic flow, if the user browser fails,
No, number 9. You didn't
okay,
read number 9.
otherwise, an error message is displayed on the screen along with a note which has a required software hyperlink.
Now, why do they have a failure scenario in the basic flow? That's a failure scenario, right?
Right.
Right? Where do we find failure scenarios?
Alternate flows.
Alternate flows. So guess what? Step number 9, this one and this one are the same. Read step 1 of the alternative flow.
Yeah.
In step 2 of the basic flow, if the user's browser failed to meet any of the requirement, an error screen is displayed to the user informing them of the browser requirements.
Isn't that the same that you just saw up?
Yeah, another.
Right? That is the right place. So number 1 of 1.4 is correct. You should not have put number 9, right? So when you say successfully, validation is successful, and you logged in, you are done. You understand? You don't need number 9 because number 1 is covered in the alternative flows. Okay, continue.
Number 2, in step 7 of the basic flow, if the user submit the login form without entering a user ID, a password, or both, the application will refresh the login screen with the error message. Please verify your login ID and password and try again. This operation is performed on the application side. It doesn't reach CWSSA.
You guys remember what CWSSA stands for, right? You would have read it earlier. Stands for Client Website Security Administration. It's basically the application we use to validate the user ID and password. Okay, continue.
In step 7 of the basic flow, if the user enter an invalid ID or the invalid password, the system will refresh the login screen with the error message. Sorry, we were unable to sign you in. CWSSA determine whether an ID or password is invalid. In the step 7 of the basic flow, after 3 sits in CWSSA attempts to enter a valid ID and an invalid password, the system will disable the ID and will display the message, sorry, we are unable to sign you in. CWSSA counts the 3 unsuccessful attempts. In the step 7 of the basic flow, if the user enter a client or the banker ID that does not have a profile on the website, the system will display error message, sorry, we are unable to sign you in.
So these are the alternative flows. These alternative flows, if you were to look at a process flow diagram, these are all right here. So this one right here, these are your alternative flows. You got it? And these are all the ones for step 7, right? And these are all the ones for step 2 of the basic flow. You got it?
Yes, sir.
All right, so always look at the number of diamonds you have in your process flow diagram. That will automatically identify you how many alternative flows you have, right? This one is the basic flow. This one is the alternative flow, right?
Yes.
Again, this is the basic flow. This is the alternative flow. And yes, you could have more than one alternative flows, right? So clearly you can see here you have multiple alternative flows. What kind of test cases do we write to validate the alternative flow? What kind of test cases?
Actual.
No. Negative test cases, remember?
Okay.
Right user ID, right password. Positive flow.
Yeah.
Right user ID, wrong password. What flow?
Negative.
Negative test case, alternative flow, right? You have to test both. There is a function, a code written for each scenario, right? And that code has to be validated. The function for the negative flow is you're going to display an error message. So you got to validate the messages coming up. You got to validate the messaging of the message, right? Here's the text of the message, right? Sorry, we are unable to, whoops, sorry. Sorry, we are unable to log you in, right? Here's your error message, correct? You have to validate that message. Make sense?
Mm.
All right. Then we come to the last two attributes, which is what? Precondition and
Post conditions.
postcondition. Okay, go ahead.
Preconditions number one. The client user's browser meets necessary software requirements. Number eight, has cookies enabled. JavaScript enable is Netscape 7.2 or higher, or Internet Explorer version 5.0 or higher, or Mozilla Firefox version 7 or higher, or Mac Safari version 2 or higher. Take note, by checking for IE, this include AOL, which uses IE browser, so the website support AOL too for PC or Macintosh. Take note,
Macintosh.
Macintosh. Yeah,
It's
take
also
note.
known as Mac,
Mac.
Apple. That's where Mac comes from, right? Mac does not come from McDonald's, okay? Mac comes from Macintosh, which is the original Apple name. They dropped the Macintosh and they just call them Macs now, right?
Take note, by using appropriate style sheets. Number two, internal user's browser meets necessary software requirement. Has cookies enabled, has JavaScript enabled, is Internet Explorer version 5.0 or higher, no other browsers supported. Users as a client, users as a valid CWSS ID and password. Post condition.
Okay, hold on. So any questions on the precondition? Right? All right. And the post condition, go ahead.
Number one, successful login result in the user being the appropriate homepage. Number one, A, client second level authentication page if user type is 0. Demo, client homepage if user type is 4. IAM, IAM homepage if the user profile has independent asset manager flag enable. Note, IAMs have user type 0, same as client. Helpdesk control panel if user type is 2. Regional administrator welcome screen if user type is 3. System administrator welcome screen if user type is 6. Superview welcome screen if user type is 7. Transaction administrator CPV transact administrative module if user type is 8, currently only for AP region. LFG admin homepage is TBD. Test admin homepage is TBD.
We know what
If
TBD stands for, right?
To be determined.
To be determined, correct. And what does TBC stand for?
TBC, television, commercial.
No,
Sorry, that's TBC. To be
continue.
continued, yeah.
to be continued.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Confirm.
Okay,
If there
meaning you have the requirement, but you still need to get it
Reconfirmed.
confirmed. All right.
TBC.
All right.
number two, if there is an active session running with the same user credential, the earlier session is terminated before creating a new session with an appropriate error message.
Okay. Any questions, guys? All right. Thank you. So there you go. A full example of a full use case written for logging in. Any questions?
No.
All right. So now you guys know what level of detail I'm looking for when you guys go ahead and submit your use cases to me. So if they're not at the same level of detail, I need it to be same level of detail. Process flow diagram, textual use case, both. And alternative flows also. Clear?
We'll have one class next Saturday. We're going to use that class to review your homework assignments, right? So
Okay.
make sure you submit the assignments before there. I know some of you have already done that. If you want to revisit your assignment, clean it up and submit it to me before next Saturday,
Yeah.
fine. Right now, I think Jose, you're number one for the review. And I think Rahman, you're number two, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I need to revisit it. Yeah, looking at this diagram, yeah, I'll do some corrections.
Yep. Okay. Samraksha, Sayed, get him in. I don't know if you guys submitted it or not. Maybe you did, but I don't remember seeing it.
So, sir, one question is regarding process flow diagram. So, where you have multiple options, not like two-dimensional like decision, like not yes, no, basically like select case type options, 3 by 4 case. How do you draw that? I mean,
Diamond followed by another diamond.
diamond followed by diamond. Okay. Okay.
So the first diamond will handle two options, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Option, let's say you have option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, option 5, right?
Yeah.
5 scenarios. So the
Mhm.
first diamond, you can outline option 1 and option 2, okay?
Yeah.
Coming out. The third line of the diamond will be for option 3 through 5. You got
Third
it?
line. Third line.
Third line,
Okay.
diamond has 4 corners, right? One is going to be the input, 4 are for the
Okay.
output, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one line goes for option A, option 1.
Yeah.
The other line
Okay.
goes for option 2. The
Okay.
third line will be for options 3 through 5.
Okay. So you
And
will
those 3
okay.
to 5 will go to the second diamond.
Okay.
And that
Yeah.
second diamond will have one line for 3, one line for 4, one line for 5.
1, 5, 5. Yeah.
Got it? So that's how you outline all 5 of your decisions. Got it?
Got it. Got it.
Diamond back to back.
Mhm. Thank you.
No problem. Everybody followed what I said, right? One diamond leading to another diamond, right? If you draw it on your page, it will make more sense. Draw a diamond and draw another diamond. And one of the lines connect the two diamonds, right? How many points are left? On the first diamond, you have one point where the input is coming in. And then you other two lines will have option 1, option 2. And the second diamond will have option 3, 4, and 5. The line that is connecting the two diamonds will have options 3 through 5, because that is showing you that 3 to 5 go into the second diamond. Clear? Guys understand what I'm saying or no? I'll take silence as golden. All right,
I got it.
Syed,
Yes.
saw Syed off mute, but I'm not hearing him say anything. Syed?
No, you can hear me, right? I was just
Now I
speaking.
can.
And
All
then
right.
yeah, so as soon as you said my name, and then your mic cut off for a second.
Okay. Go ahead. 4.3.11.
Log on for external users. The CWS follows the two-factor authentication for log on to the CWS for external users. It can be enabled for a client while creation of the online profile. Did I say that right? It can be enabled for a client while creation of the online profile. Okay. The 2FA is in addition to the authentication process as discussed above.
Okay. So now you see a process flow diagram that outlines how the two-factor authentication works, right? And this application actually has two flavors of two-factor, which you'll see in this diagram. All right, walk me through the diagram, buddy.
User submits username and password.
Mm-hmm.
First level of authentication. If the verification.
No, that's not how we did it.
Oh, sorry.
Were you paying attention when Samraksha was walking us through?
I was. I didn't realize I was saying it differently. Sorry.
You didn't go there, right? First, you got to explain the process to me before you go to the call out, right?
You never went to the process. What's the process? What's happening there, buddy, in the diamond?
Verification.
Who's doing it?
System verification. Sorry.
Right. It's not system verification. You're verifying the client, but the system is doing it.
Correct.
Understand?
Yes.
So you need to say the box before, right? The system will verify the
Verification.
what?
Oh, user.
Yeah, okay, go back and read the first box.
User submits username and password.
So what are we verifying?
Username and password.
Thank you. Killing me. So the system will verify the username and password. Now that you have told me the function happening in the diamond, now read the call out, which is this is the Sayed, you were not paying attention. Guys, if you're not paying attention to someone else doing a walkthrough, you're gonna fail. You're supposed to learn from the previous thing, right? Sayed,
Yes.
you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Pay attention.
Yes.
You're here to pay attention. If I see you guys coming on your turns and you're not doing better than what the previous person did, you're not learning. So you should say the system will verify the username and the password. Then you're supposed to say the call out. This is the first level of authentication. That's what Samraksha just did.
Understood.
Then you tell me the scenarios coming from the diamond because it's a diamond, so it's a validation, right? It's the validation of the user ID and the password. Then you're supposed to tell me that the if the verification fails, which is which scenario?
Alternatives.
No. Yes, it's the alternative scenario, but it's the no in the diagram, right? There's no alternative scenario in the diagram. It's just the diagram, right?
Right.
Then the system will what? Sayed is totally lost.
Display an error.
Sayed,
Yeah, the system will display an error.
I would ask you, did you have your coffee today? But now I've got to ask you, did you have your coffee at sahur?
No, I'm here. I'm not. I just
Kya ho gaya? Why you
usually I'm a little lost during the class, but then I just watch the video afterwards.
This is not a time to be lost and watch video. You're gonna watch a video of you being lost again.
No.
All right, that doesn't help you. All right. So start from the top again. Let's go.
User submits username and password.
Okay.
This is the first level of authentication.
Again, you went
No.
straight to the call out. You're not even registering what I'm telling you, bro. I just told you don't go straight to the call out. Do the process before the call out. What is the process?
User submits username and password, and
That's the first one. There's no call out for this, right? Which process does have the call out? I think you're getting stuck because you're seeing a diamond and you're not thinking of it as a process. Diamond is also a process, you understand?
yes.
Every box here is a process occurring. Do you understand?
Yes.
Just because it's a diamond, that just simply means that for this process, there can be two outcomes.
Got it.
You understand? So don't think that the diamond is not a function that is taking place here. The first is a function. It's the function of the user submitting the username and the password. The second is also a function. It is the function of the system. What is the function? The system is verifying the username and the password. That's the second function occurring. You understand?
Yes.
So read the function before you read the call out.
So user submits username and password. If the system will
Again,
verify user.
Correct. System will verify the user. Now read the call out.
This is the first level of authentication.
Okay, now you're done with the entire process and the call out. Got it?
Right.
Now give me the scenarios.
If the verification is unsuccessful,
Okay.
system will display error.
What's missing?
Um, System will
Prompt the user
prompt the
to.
user to re-enter username and password.
Correct. They forgot that, right? You're not dead in the water after you displayed an error message, right?
Right, right,
Right?
right.
They had it here, right? Look here. You were not paying attention, otherwise you would have noticed it, right? See this right here?
Yes.
After system displaying the error, what do you see? You see the error going back to
System
the
directs
login
user to
page,
log on page.
right?
Yeah.
But they dropped it in this diagram. They shouldn't have dropped it. They should have put it there. It's missing. You got it?
Yes.
All right.
If the verification is successful,
Correct.
system will prompt user for the digital key.
No,
No.
that's not what it means. Where do you
Uh,
see the word prompt?
I thought it was the sorry. I thought it was a little login.
No. What is a diamond typically? Diamond is a check. It is a validation. Correct?
Correct.
Right? So is this validation or a check?
Validation.
Okay. If you're going to call it a validation, what are we validating?
The digital key.
Not the digital key. Keep reading. One more word.
Flag.
Right. This is not validating the digital key. This is validating the digital key flag. And what are we trying to validate? Is the flag
Authentic or
no? What's the fourth word in the damn thing?
on? Is it on?
Or what's the opposite?
Off.
Thank you. See, I told you you could read. Oh my God, you're killing me. So the system is checking if the user's digital key flag is on or off. What is this signifying? This is signifying if you have a key or you don't have a key. You understand? The on signifies that you what? Have a key. And the off will signify you don't have a key. You understand? Sayed?
Yes, I do understand.
All right. Stay with me.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the digital key flag happens to be on, right, then the system will authenticate the user via
Machine
digital
key.
key. If the flag happens to be off, can I authenticate him via digital key? Of course not. He doesn't even have the damn key. You understand? Then I or the system will authenticate him via machine tagging. These both are two different, two F, oops, sorry, too big of an F, A's. Okay. We have two-factor authentications. I got to determine which way to send him. Some people will go to digital key. Some people will go to machine tagging. And the way system determines which way to send them is by looking at the digital key flag, which is in the database for that user. And this is what? The start of the second level of authentication.
Authentication.
Clear?
Yes.
Any questions?
I actually had a question. How would you determine how to, like, why would machine tagging be underneath and digital key authentication on the right?
As we said, if digital key flag is on, then you go this way, right?
Yes.
If you have digital key flag off, then you go this way. Why is the flag off? Because you don't have a key.
Okay.
You understand what a digital key is?
Yes.
Digital key is,
Like a temporary.
no, it's a fob.
Oh, the fob. Okay. 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 I know what you're talking about. I guess now when you write that word in the future, you're gonna get all these new keyboards.
That's a digital key,
Little tag, right? Yeah.
right? And this number is the token on the key. You got it?
It's self-generated, right? At the moment.
This is self-generated, correct? Right? This is also another key right here. This is a key, a digital key, RSA key. So we mail these keys to our users. Yes, a bunch of them, different ones. See that? They come in this packet right here. And this gets mailed to the client. And once he activates his digital key, that flag in the database will turn to on. Understood? All right. So you wanted to read? Go ahead, read a little bit.
The U.S. LATAM and
Latam.
LATAM. The U.S. LATAM and EMEA
Uh-huh.
regions follow machine tagging based authentication for logon. Usage of digital key authentication for logon is optional for these regions. The Asia Pacific region follows the digital key authentication for logon. After the first level of authentication, the system will check the digital key flag. The system will check if the digital key flag is switched on or not. In case the digital key flag is on, the system would direct the user to the digital key authentication page, irrespective of the region the client belongs to. If the digital key flag is not switched on, case being a US LATAM EMEA client, the system would verify if the user is accessing the CWS from the registered machine. Machine tagging approach covered in detail in the section below. If so, the user will be directed to the configured homepage. Else would be taken to the challenge question response page to answer the authentication question.
Which is machine tagging.
Yes. So
Got it?
this is basically going two directions, right?
Yep.
All right. And then digital key authentication. Digital key is a security device which provides an additional level of protection against unauthorized access to the online account information of a client when log on to the City Private Bank CWS. So
No, that's the next person's thing. So
okay.
back to Uzair for this particular use case. He'll come back to you in a minute, okay?
Cool.
Any questions on how the system picks which
Was that two
authentication
diamonds
mechanism to
then?
use?
Because
Huh?
that's two diamonds, right?
Which diamond?
Here, so the digital key flag. No, if you in the writing. So it says that or else the user would be taken to the challenge question.
One diamond. It's one diamond. That's this diamond. That's this one.
Got it. Okay.
This is the diamond you just read.
Right. Okay.
If the key is on, go to digital tagging. If the key is off, go to challenge response Q&A, which is machine tagging. Got it? All right, back to the top. Was there?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Digital key authentication. digital key is a security device which provides an additional level of protection against unauthorized access to the online account information of a client when logged into the Citibank CWS, City Private Bank CWS. Digital key is a hardware token which displays a random time sensitive 6-digit security code that changes every minute and can only be used once. Okay, 4.3.1.1.11. Login with digital key. Existing clients. For them, key business requirements. Log 2. Use case 2. Login with digital key. Existing clients. The details are detailed description. Log 2.1. The description is allow the client to log on with digital key. The actors, there are 4 actors. Client, CWS, database, RSA server.
Okay. Jose, you have won the lottery.
A big number. Oh wow. It's awesome.
Congratulations. But feel free, if you would like, we can give this to Sayed.
Okay, I'll try, definitely.
You can
Why
tag me
me?
in. You can
Yeah.
tag me in halfway through if
Yeah.
you like.
Yeah, we have teammates can help me.
There you go. All right. Log 2.2 is a process flow diagram for
Existing user.
digital key login.
Yeah, key login.
All right.
So, it's user enter the URL for CWS website. The system browser check passed. If it is failed, display a message, error message, and return back to the user to the URL page. If the system pass,
No return back to the URL page. It just simply displays
gives
an
the
error
answer.
message on the URL page. There's no return.
Okay.
So there's no line here. There
Okay.
is a line here,
Okay. Yeah.
right? There should be a line here.
To the browser page or enter the password here.
Correct, but nothing here. I mean,
Okay.
it's pointless. He's already on the URL. The logon page never loaded for him. You understand?
Okay, sir. Yeah. Got
That's
it.
right.
If there is no display error and browser check is passed, then user enter his username and password. The first call out is password is encrypted at the customer PC. So when the user enters password, it will submit. After submitting, the system verifies. The first call out is the level of authentication. System, if
No,
the
don't say first call out. Just read it.
okay,
System will perform a verification. This is the first level of authentication. You
this
don't
is
have
the
to say call out is this. No.
okay, sorry. This is the first level of authentication. If the user verification is successful, not successful, it will display an error message, and it will lead directly to the username and password page again. If the user verification is passed, it will go to the next stage, that is digital key flag, the second level of authentication. If the digital key is off or no, then link to digital key section.
Yeah, so this is not good. So forget this. This should not be displayed here. I don't know why they put it in here. It should not be there.
Okay.
So if the digital key flag is, what is the no?
No means turn off.
Off, right? So say off, right? So
Yes.
if the digital key flag is off, then the system would perform,
Machine tagging and authentication.
right? But remember, your use case, is it to describe machine tagging? No, that's coming
No.
ahead.
Yes.
Your one is to describe digital key authentication. That's why this one is blown up and not that side. You got it?
Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
So here, digital key flag on, no is to the right and yes is down.
Yes.
But last one, I believe it was the other way around, right?
Doesn't matter.
So, okay. The reason I'm asking is because after machine tagging authentication, let's say digital key.
Not after machine tagging. It's either or.
You're right, but just so if the digital key flag is not on, it will do a machine tagging authentication, right?
Correct.
But then where will we go?
What is your end goal, man?
To log in.
All right. That's where all of us are going.
No, but so what I'm saying is,
To be
wouldn't
logged in.
there be an arrow to?
There are two different processes for, like, there's a digital
Genius,
key.
this is not blown up. This is a
Yes.
different use case.
Yes.
Okay, so it would continue. It just didn't hear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds like Syed is volunteering to walk us through the machine tagging authentication.
Next
Is that
week's
what I understand, Syed?
next week's homework, no problem.
Ain't no next week. It's coming up in a few minutes. Most probably it's going to wind up on you anyways.
Yeah, I'm feeling lucky today. No problem.
Yes. All right. Continue, sir.
Okay, so if the digital key is on, if it is yes, then it will go to link to digital key section.
Yeah,
And
again, this link is bullshit. Okay, there's no
Okay.
link.
okay,
All right. If the digital key flag happens to be on, then the system will check.
a digital key authenticated.
Not
that-
authenticated.
Oh, sorry, activated. Yeah.
So the first diamond says you have a key. All right. Got it?
Yes.
The second diamond is the key you have active?
Okay, yeah. If not,
So
if the key is not
because it
active,
could be a case where yes, you have a key, but you never activated it. You're a first time logging in. You understand?
yes.
So on the profile, it shows that yes, you have a key, so that digital key flag is on. But in the database where I should have the status of the key, the status is inactive.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So in that case, what happens? So if the digital key happens to be inactive, then
it goes to logout.
system
Will go to logout.
will log the user out.
Okay.
Not system will log out. System
yeah.
will log the user out.
Log the
Right?
user out and ask the user to for activate digital
And the
key.
user will, there's no asking.
Okay.
User will
Activate digital key.
activate his digital key. Once he has activated the digital key, then the user will
Get the 6-digit security code.
not get, enter.
Okay, yeah. Enter the
Do you
6.
understand the difference between a get and an enter?
Yes, sir.
Get means you're getting it from somewhere. Enter means you're entering it. Two different things. Be careful what you read. You totally change the damn meaning,
Okay, got it. Yeah.
right? So after the user has activated his digital key, then the user will enter the,
6-digit security code.
remember I was showing you?
Yes, the picture.
After you have entered it, so you have to activate this key, this one right here, right? And after you've activated this key, this is the number you're entering, the 6-digit token, 159759. You got it?
Yes, got it.
And these 6 digits changes every 30 seconds. You see this countdown happening here?
Yes.
These bars will keep coming down. This bar represents like 10 seconds each. So in 60 seconds, there's a new token and the old one has expired. That's why it's OTP. What does OTP stand for? You guys don't know what OTP stands for? One time password. Because this is only good for one time. In that 1 minute. After that, it's gone. It expires. You understand?
Got it.
Same way, when the application sends you an SMS text with an OTP, that's the token you're getting. The only difference is in that scenario, the system is sending you the token over the SMS. In this scenario, you are carrying the token with you. You got it?
Got it. Yeah.
Both are tokens. This is also a 6-digit token. The one you get from the phone is a 6-digit token. The one you get in the email is a 6-digit token. The one that you get over the voice is a 6-digit token. They're all tokens or one-time passwords. Okay. So the user will then enter the
6-digit code.
which would be the same place the user would have done if his key was
Yes. Digital key
not
was
here,
activated. Activated.
active,
Yes.
right? So that's how you bridge the gap. You understand? You went down the no path, went all the way, completed the circle, and then bridged the gap. Clear?
Yes.
All right. So now you entered the 6-digit security code. All right. What's happening next?
So the system, so the code is correct.
The system, the code is correct.
Oh,
Who
I
taught you
mean,
to speak English, yeah?
like the code is correct.
What do you
So
mean code is correct? Say it in a proper sentence.
system verifies the code is
Correct.
or not.
No, you don't even have to say that. The system will verify the code. That's good enough, right? Because you're going to put that word in the scenarios, right? System will verify the code. Which code? The code that you just entered, the 6-digit security code.
6-digit security code, yes.
All right. Perfect. Now what?
If the code is
You want to
incorrect,
go to?
if the code is incorrect,
Why you want to go down the incorrect path? Does the incorrect look more complicated or correct looks more complicated? Which is
correct.
more complicated?
No, it's more complicated here.
Abey, which one?
Code is incorrect.
Yeah, the incorrect is more complicated, right?
Yes.
So do the correct one first then.
Okay. If the code is correct,
Uh-huh.
go to login successful, and
Then the login is successful and
user will see the home page.
correct. System will display the home page. User will see the home page. System will display the home page. Okay, you're telling it from the other side. Okay, fine. See, done. Now come back and walk me through the scenario if the code is
Incorrect.
all right. Now what?
If the code is incorrect, system will
Uh-huh.
display a message code incorrect.
Huh? What? Whoa, whoa, what? Huh? You don't see another diamond in the middle?
Yes, sir. That was I was reading system. System
Where the hell did
display.
you get the code displaying of the error message? Displaying of the error message is on the other side of that diamond, no?
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah, system
So
gives.
should I just like remove this? You don't care about this requirement?
Okay.
Should I just remove it?
The
Delete it?
last one is decision. Yeah.
It's another requirement, right?
Yes, correct.
What is this requirement?
The system will give code incorrect 3
Where
times.
did you read the word give?
System
What is a diamond? Remind me again.
process.
It's a decision.
Decision, yes.
It's a check. It's a validation. Right? What are we validating?
The code correct is on incorrect code.
Okay. What are we validating on the incorrect code?
Incorrect
The
code.
incorrect code is the reason why you came this way, right?
Yes.
It's not, you're not validating the code being incorrect. You're validating
Three consecutively.
correct. If the code was entered 3 times consecutively. Do you guys understand what 3 times in consecutively means?
Yeah, I mean the first code is incorrect and second, third.
Okay, so if the code is incorrect the first time, what's the answer to the second diamond?
Code is incorrect.
Yes or no?
No.
Huh?
No.
The answer is no, right? First
Yes.
failed attempt, the answer is no. What would happen?
Then again, 6-digit code.
Is that
Answer
what
is
it shows?
no.
What the hell does it show?
3-time consecutive.
Oh Lord. Okay, man. Was there? I would tell you to have a glass of water, but you're probably fasting, so I can't tell you to do that. So just take a deep breath. Okay? Now listen to me carefully. The scenario is you have failed the code the first time. You got it?
Yes.
What is the answer to diamond number 2? Yes or no?
No.
All right. Where are you going then?
Code is incorrect.
Huh? Code is incorrect. I
Code
don't
is
even
correct.
see that box there.
Yeah.
There's that is diamond box code incorrect. 3-time consecutive.
The
On-
answer to, oh Lord. Jose, carefully answer my questions. On the first failed attempt, the answer to the second diamond, code incorrect 3 times consecutively, is
Yes or no?
Give me the answer.
If it is yes, we'll display.
What do you mean if it is yes? What is the answer for the scenario I'm drawing for you, yaar?
The system will display an error.
All right,
No, the answer is no.
well, Uzair is not thinking it that way.
The answer is no, because you have to re-enter the code.
Is that what the damn diagram shows you, Sayyid?
No, no, it does not show. It's actually showing login successful. It directs you to login successful.
Are you guys seeing that?
Yes. Okay, I read it backwards.
What do you mean you read it backwards?
So it says code incorrect 3 times consecutively,
Hmm.
and if it's no,
Hmm.
I didn't see the question mark. You see, it was a little hidden, so it threw it off a little.
Is this big enough for you?
It's beautiful. So yes, now it makes sense. When it's no, you didn't enter the code in incorrectly 3 times. So then your login was successful. Yes, it makes sense now.
It makes sense now.
Yes.
So you
No,
enter the right code, you go to login successful. You enter the wrong code, you go to
Display error.
login successful.
Successful, yeah.
How the hell is that possible?
This is a flawed logic.
Yes, diagram is not correct. At this stage, I'm logging in for the very first time, right?
Yes.
If I entered the code correctly, I went to login successful. If I entered the code incorrect, I went to the second diamond, which directed me back into the login successful.
Yeah.
What the hell kind of logic is this? So that means if I enter the code correctly, I go login. If I enter the code incorrectly, I again login successfully.
Right.
Are you guys seeing that?
Yes.
So is this diagram correct?
No.
No. Where should that no be going?
To the return to login page.
No. Not login page.
Enter 6-digit.
Correct. It's in the wrong damn direction.
So it should go up and left. Okay.
Now, walk me through it. I entered the code incorrectly. First failed attempt. What happens? Second diamond asks me, is the code incorrect 3 times? The answer is
No.
no. The system will prompt me to enter the
6-digit
Six-digit
security
code.
code.
All right, I entered it wrong a second time.
Again, go to the same step, enter the 6-digit security
It will
code.
give me another opportunity to enter it. I entered it wrong a third time. The second diamond now, the answer is
Display error.
yes. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes to display error. Excuse me.
That will take the user to the error message, which is displayed by the system, and will return the user to
Login.
login page. This is a loop which allows the user 3 attempts to enter the right digit code.
Can
You see that?
Can you show us just what's directly above the enter the 6-digit security code?
Is the key active?
Oh, it's the key active. Okay.
Without the key being active, how can he even enter that?
Yes. Okay.
Right?
Right.
You see it was there?
Yes, sir.
That's what I was trying to make you think. What is the second diamond checking? It's checking the failed attempts. You only come to that diamond on a failed attempt. You don't go to that diamond on a positive attempt. You understand?
Yeah, I was just trying to like say the same thing because if it is like incorrect, it will go back to enter it again, then again go back to enter
But
it again.
I was making you read the diamond after I fixed the diagram. Yes, now it shows that.
Yes,
But the
yes.
original diagram was not showing that, and you were doing it without looking at the diamond.
Yeah, I mean, I
You were
was,
not following the thing. You should have said, sir, this diagram doesn't look right.
yeah, I was just
I was
confused on
making you, I was trying to make you realize that.
yeah, I'm just confused on the diamond. Like, okay,
No, it's like, shouldn't be confused on a diamond. It's like a traffic light. Green doesn't mean you stop, right? Tell me you don't stop on green, man.
no,
Oh, sugar. Right? This is like a traffic light. Green means go, red means stop. Simple. Read the diamond, right?
yes,
Identify the scenario that is being validated there, right? The first diamond is validating if the code is correct or incorrect, right? The second diamond is validating how many times has the code been entered incorrect consecutively. Because if you had a positive attempt, you would not even come to the second diamond, right?
yes, correct.
Only negative attempts come to the second diamond.
I'm a little confused on something. Just a little.
You sure? Somebody's laughing. Who's laughing? Who's laughing at Sayed?
It's just the kids in the back.
That's it. The kids are laughing at
They're
the
laughing at me. No, so look.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when you enter this, I know this might like have nothing to do with the chart, but if you enter the 6-digit security code, you were given a time limit for that, right?
Yeah, you will only enter the code that you're seeing on the screen, right?
No, I'm
your
saying remember, so they give us the code, but we're entering it wrong 3 times. So if we exceed the 1 minute that they give us,
You're trying to tell me you entered it in the screen but didn't hit the enter key. You didn't click on the submit key.
no, you see how the diamond says code incorrect 3 times? So I was saying that in that time that you're putting in the code wrong 3 times, won't your security code not work anymore, even if it takes you back?
Of course.
So you actually have to go before the security code, right, to get a new generated number?
No, look, my system is in sync with the key. You can use the same code within the 60 seconds. You understand?
But what if you typed incorrectly 3 times and you exceeded the
Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
I'm expecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You understand?
Right.
As long as that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doesn't come in within that 60-second time frame.
Yeah,
After the 60-second time frame, if you entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, well, now that code is expired. So that is also a failed attempt. Because now it's 7, 8, 9, 10. You understand? Do you guys understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So basically, if 60 seconds has passed, then it's going to create another branch, right?
It will create another token.
No, I mean in the process flow.
No, that's still this. Look, geniuses. The code being correct is that check,
Mhm.
but the code is only valid for 60 seconds.
No,
So
but
let's
if
say
one,
the screen came up and said, enter your code. And you entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you didn't hit enter. You went out, you got a cup of tea, you came back, and now you're hitting the enter key.
okay,
What are you submitting?
Incorrect
wrong,
password.
You're
incorrect.
submitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now showing on your key?
No.
No. So of course you're entering a wrong one.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
You need to enter what is showing on the screen right now. And guess what? If it's down to the last blinky, just
Don't do
wait
it.
till the new one comes up.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. Wait 2 seconds, get a new one.
Yeah. And now you have full 60 seconds to use that new one.
Right.
You understand what I'm talking about, right? If this blinky on here is on the last notch, that means this code is about to expire. Just wait for 5 or 10 seconds and the new one will show up. And then you can use that new one for however long you have.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
This code is only good for those 60 seconds. After that, it's expired. Right? Everybody clear?
Yes.
Understand how RSA works?
Yeah. That is it.
So that is if the code is correct. It has nothing to do with failed attempts. Once the actual correction fails, that's when it looks to see, okay, this guy was his failed attempt number 1, failed attempt number 2, or failed attempt number 3, and were all 3 consecutive failed attempts. So imagine I entered the wrong one, and then I entered the right one. Well, guess what happens to the counter of failed attempts? Goes back to 0. You understand?
Yes.
Right? This is checking which failed attempt is it, consecutive guys. This is checking, was the code good or bad? Everybody clear?
Yes.
All right. All right. So who was doing this one?
I was there, sir.
Ozair. All right, Ozair. Speed reading now, all right?
Okay.
We've
Log
got 20
2.3.
minutes or so. I want to finish the machine tagging one also.
Log 2.3. Basic flow. Point number 1. System checks if the user has activated the digital key to a two-factor authentication. Is switched on. When the digital key status is confirmed as activated, the system displays the digital key security login page. Point number 2. Client enters 6-digit security code correctly and clicks Go. Point 3. System successfully authenticate the client and display the home page. Log 2.4. Alternative flow. Point number 1. In step 1 of basic flow, if the digital key is not activated for the user and the digital key required option is in the client portfolio is set to enable, activate your digital key link should be displayed, which would prompt the client to activate your digital key. Please log out and return to the login page, where the client will follow the steps to activate the digital key and log into CWS. Refer step 2 to use case 3 activate digital key.
So this is the first diamond. Remember the diamond that you checked, is the digital key active or not?
Yes.
This diamond, this one. So you just did the alternative flow for this one.
Okay.
This one right here. Got it? That's this flow right here. And it's saying that this is use case number 3, I think, right? All right. Okay, come on back down here. All right. What's next?
Okay. Alternative flow point number 2. In step 1 of basic flow. If the digital key is not activated for the user and the digital key is required, flag in the client profile is set to off. The client will be navigated to the challenge response page.
So this is checking if the digital key flag is on. So this is this one. Oh, sorry, higher. This one. You just read this one,
Okay.
right? If digital key is off, guy is going to machine tagging. Got it? All right. What else? Now comes the 3-time loop, the one that we were talking a lot about.
Alternative process 3 in step 3 of basic flow. If the client enters the incorrect 6-digit security code, the system displays error message accordingly. Point number A. First failed attempt login attempt. Display error message. The security code you have entered does not match the number generated on your digital key. Please enter the 6-digit security code located on the front of your digital key. Second failed attempt login attempt. The security code you enter does not match the number you generated on your digital key. Please enter the 6-digit code located on the front of your digital key. Please note, if the third attempt fails, you will be returned to the login page. The third failed login attempt, client is returned to the main login page.
So this is that diamond, right? The 3 consecutive failed attempts. Each failed attempt actually results in a different error message. That error message was actually not displayed in the process flow diagram, right?
Yes.
So in the process flow diagram, they never put the error message. You see that? There should actually be a little box here, right?
Yes.
Display an appropriate
an
error message, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
They did not put that. They should have. And then take the user back to
Enter
entering
6-digit
the
security.
6 digit that you just read. Everybody clear?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to go through the preconditions, post-conditions. They're pretty much the same as the other ones, right? We're going to jump into use case number 3. Rahman, let's go.
Okay, use case 3. Activate the digital key.
So you
Detailed
remember that
description.
process of activating? So this is the use case for activating your digital key. Got it?
Yeah.
You just did, Jose, you did validating the digital key. This is activating the digital key. Okay, go ahead.
Allows the client to activate their digital keys. Until the user activate his/her digital key, the digital key flag will be turned on for the user.
Not, you just dropped the word not. You flipped the requirement on me.
Oh, flag will not be turned on for the user. Okay.
Be careful, don't be eating words like that.
Okay. Actors client user tab 0, CWS, database, RSS server, web client tracker.
All right. So you get a very easy process flow, Rahman. It's all straight.
So user clicks on the digital key activate link on the public facing site. Thank you. Thank you for blowing it up here. So system shows activation login page.
Yeah, you can use displays, man. System displays the activation login page.
Yeah, system displays. Okay.
Okay.
User submits the username and password.
Yeah, no call outs, huh?
No call outs. Yeah. System verifies the username and password.
Okay.
If verification failed,
There's a
the
box
user
missing here. Put the box here.
yeah
What should come
display
here?
error message.
Correct. System will display
Error message
a
and redirect the user to the username and password page.
All right, perfect.
Okay. If the authentication is successful, digital system displays digital key. Sorry. If the authentication is successful, digital key activation page is displayed.
By the system.
by the system. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. User enter digital key serial number twice and submit. Why is that?
Why is that? To make sure you're entering the same serial number.
Okay. Okay, so this is because we had one successful, right?
No, this is activating your key. What's successful?
Oh, okay, yeah, this is activation the key. Yeah, sorry. So enter. Okay. System displays client confirmation page.
Right. So now it's showing you, are you sure you want to proceed?
Yes. Okay. User confirms.
Okay. So now they ate a few boxes here. Which box? Oh, just the box about activating the key.
Yeah.
It's not there. So there should be a box here after the user confirms, right?
Yeah.
Which is actually the activation process. Meaning after the
Yes.
user confirms, the system will try to activate the key, right?
Yes.
What
Yes.
happens if the key doesn't activate for some reason? Where is that process?
Yeah. No, it's
Not there.
not there. Yeah, not there. Yeah.
But it's documented like crap in the verbiage. Okay?
Mhm.
So it's not documented in the diagram, but if you go to the verbiage, it's like freaking 3 pages versus reasons why the key will not activate. Okay?
Okay. Okay, sir.
So
Okay.
they forgot that whole process, right? Okay.
Yes.
So let's say we'll do positive. System will successfully activate the key. Let's put that in this box. Okay?
Okay.
After the system has activated the key, the system will check if the user wants to
Login.
proceed with the login.
Yeah.
Because it could be that Rahman, all you wanted to do was activate your key and you want to go home.
Yeah,
You don't
just to
want to
check.
proceed,
Just to
right?
check whether key is working or
So,
not. Yeah.
there's a button that comes on that screen that says, would you like to proceed to login? Click yes or no. If I click no, then what happens?
Redirect
System
system
would
redirect to the public facing site.
he log you out. Because
Yeah.
remember, you are logged in through first factor already, right?
Yes,
Here
sir.
was first factor. So you successfully did first factor, right? This is first factor,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, sir.
So you are logged in. You're not
Mhm.
two-factor logged in. All right. What if he says, no, I've activated my key. I want to now proceed to the login. Then what will he do?
User enters 6-digit RSA security code.
So now we are doing the code validation, right?
Code validation. Yes.
Again, this is in the wrong
Wrong.
direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
This should be here, right?
Yeah.
We learned that from the last one that we did. This is the no. All right, continue. So he enters the 6-digit security code. Then what happens?
System validates the security code.
Correct.
If the code is correct, validation is successful, system displays the welcome page. If
Done.
not,
Right? You're
done.
done with that positive flow. You're logged in. Congratulations. Now, if the security validation fails,
then we have that loop.
yep, system will validate if the
If the
code
if the code is incorrect, submitted 3 times or not
code is incorrect 3 times consecutively, right?
consecutively, yes.
Meaning on the first and the second failed attempt, the user is given
This error
another
message.
opportunity to enter the 6-digit RSA token. But on the third failed attempt, the system would
Log of the user
and
directed to the public face, basically the first
outside of the first.
yeah, outside of the first.
Yes.
Oh,
So
so
you
there
can,
is
yeah.
So there is another error here.
What other error?
See, the first step was so this is the second factor, right?
Yeah, this is the
So,
second factor.
so when system logs of the user, it's going to take the user to before the first factor, right?
Yeah. Public facing side.
Public facing site, okay. But in previously, the previous box, user wants to proceed with logon, over there system would redirect the user to the first vector.
No. Why?
Oh,
He's already cleared first factor here. Why are you telling him to enter the user ID and password again?
okay, because this one says full log off. That's what I thought that is gonna
This is also
do
fully
advanced.
logged off.
This is also fully logged off, but it doesn't say this.
Yeah, you don't have to, right? If you take him
Okay,
back to the
okay,
public facing side, you're logged out.
okay, okay, okay. So I thought it's going to,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
You're not fully logged in, right?
yeah.
All right. So let's quickly go through the process flow. We've got one more to do after this, which is machine tagging, right?
Okay.
Let's do
So basic flow. Okay. Activate link is available on the public facing site login page of the CWS for all regions, which allows any client to activate digital key. Client clicks on the activate link. The system refreshes the screen and displays a new activation login page where the user is prompted to log in to the client website with their existing username and password and then clicks go. After successful authentication, the system should display the digital key activation page. The system should display the option and enter the digital key serial number twice for verification. Client enters the same digital serial number twice, both number should match, and clicks one of the following options: clear, cancel, submit. If
so of these three, which one do you think is the basic flow?
submit.
Submit, right? That's why you see submit documented right underneath, right? Where would I find clear and cancel functions?
Uh, Alternative flow.
They'll be in the automated flow. Clear? All right,
Yes.
continue.
If submit is selected with two identical serial numbers, the system should display the activation client confirmation page. On this page, the system should display the previously client entered serial number for confirmation purposes, the following options: edit, cancel, confirm.
Basic flow is
Confirm.
confirm. So that is why confirm is documented. Got it? Edit
Yes,
and cancel will be in the,
alternative.
because something is supposed to happen if I click here, something's supposed to happen if I click here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I got to know that requirement, right? It would be in the
Mhm.
alternative flows.
Okay.
Again, this was not in the diagram.
Yeah, yeah. If confirm is selected, the system will successfully validate the digital serial number against the seed pool in the RSS server, and the client should be registered successfully on the RSS server. This should happen in real time. The system should display the activation system confirmation page, which houses a confirmation of the digital key manufacturer and serial number entered, as well as a date stamp for when the activation was made. This page will appear on the site for the length of this client's active session with the website. The page should display following options for the client to select on the activation system confirmation page. Come back later, proceed with login.
So this is the one that they actually documented, right? Do you want to proceed to log in or do you want to come back later, right? And they
Yes.
have registered which flow as the basic?
Proceed with login.
Correct. So this one is the basic. So that's why it continues. Come back later would be alternative flow.
Alternative. Yes.
If come back flow is selected, you should log off the session and take the user back to the login page, right?
Yes.
All right, continue.
If proceed with login is selected, system should display a security code login page where the client should enter his one-time password as flashing on the digital token. Client enters 6-digit security code correctly and clicks go.
All right, so that was your basic flow. Any questions? I'm not going to take you to the alternative flows. You'll never finish this. Look how much the
Yeah.
alternative flow is. Look at this.
Okay, so.
So here's the OKs and the cancels. All of them are documented here, right?
Mhm.
Look how many different scenarios can be for the digital key failing. Key is not in the RSA pool. Key is already assigned to another user. Lost or damaged serial number was submitted. RSA server is down. Here's your exception flow,
Yeah.
right? Server
Yeah.
being down is an exception, right?
So they put it in alternative.
Yeah, they don't have a separate now. It's an error scenario. So they put it all in the alternative flow. Look how many pages that was, right? All right, we come to the last one, boys and girls. Finally, the other second factor authentication, which is
Machine tag.
machine tagging. All right, Samraksha, you good? So we'll divide the work, or let's start with Samraksha. Samraksha 4.3.112, machine tagging authentication. By the way, all of you should be familiar with machine tagging. You have all used machine tagging. You know, when you try to log into your banking website, sometimes you get challenged with that Q&A that asks you, where did you meet your spouse? What was the first car you bought? What was the name of your oldest, what is the middle name of your oldest kid? Remember that Q&A?
What about the tiles, the picture tiles? Does that count?
No, that's not it. This is the Q&A, the question and answer, the security check. Do you always get Q&A'd?
No.
No, you don't. You sometimes get the Q&A and sometimes you don't. Ever wondered why you're getting it or why you don't get it? Well, you will come to learn about it right now. All right, continue, madam.
Okay. Machine tagging, like digital key, is a second level of authentication check. As discussed above, in the first step authentication, client enters user ID and password. In second step authentication, client enters 6-digit digital code. Client who has activated digital key or answer for challenge response question. Client who has not activated digital key. If machine tagging scores is greater than or equals to 900. A client is required to enter the necessary authentication questions online the first time he logins into the CWS. This consists of the set of the challenge questions and corresponding responses to these questions. The client selects either a choice of 5 questions from the available drop-down options and enters the responses to them online. These questions and their corresponding responses are then stored in the CWS. Subsequently, when the client tries to log in and the machine is viewed as risky by Utah server, EC is
Sayota.
presented.
Like Toyota, this is Sayota.
Okay. EC is presented with the challenge response page with a random question from the above stored questions. Correct responses lead to the successful login to the CWS, and the incorrect responses throw error message or log out the client. Machine tagging solution provide a risk score based on user access behavior by evaluating machine ID, IP address, location, browser info, etc. This score is provided by the SCADA server to CWS system. The main objective of the machine tagging based authentication is to bypass challenge response page for those clients who have a risk score of less than 900. Um, After the first level of authentication, the system send a risk request message to empty server. If the return risk score is is less than 900, the system bypasses challenge response page and the client is redirected to the home page. A risk score should be less or equals greater or equals to 900. The system will present the client with authentication questions. When the empty server is down, no risk score is calculated and all users are prompted with the challenge question. In future, if the empty server is down, system should bypass CRQ for all empty authenticated users and allow them into the site after first level of authentication. In the event of the user is going grace login, machine tagging authentication process is bypassed and the user is redirected to the home page.
Got it, guys? Any questions? So the whole Q&A is based on a risk level. But as long as you do not surpass the threshold of the risk, and in our application, the risk is set at 900, which is very high. The highest risk level is 1000. So we have it at very high. You guys with your regular consumer banks might only have it set at like 500, 600. So it doesn't take a lot to bypass it. For example, Sayed always logs in from, where do you live, Sayed? You're in
New York, Queens.
New York, Queens, right? Suddenly today, Sayed is logging in from Ukraine. Well, what the hell is Sayed doing in Ukraine?
You're gonna need
Right?
that. You're gonna need those questions.
You're a high risk user, right?
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, Sayed is now, after Ukraine, logging in from China after 10 minutes. Then, after 5 minutes, he's logging in from Russia. Well, hold on. Something is going on here, crazy, right?
Yep.
Looks like Sayed's user ID has been compromised, right? How can he be logging in from these different countries 10 minutes apart, right? So
Right.
he is considered a high risk user. Some of the countries are automatically blacklisted. You don't even have to calculate a risk. If the IP equates to that country, you always get respond hit with a Q&A. You understand? Let's say Sayed is logging in from Brooklyn, Queens, right? But he is suddenly logging in with a new MAC address, meaning the machine ID is new. He went to Best Buy, he bought a new computer, but he's never logged in using this machine. It's a brand new machine. So, his profile doesn't have this machine registered. You ever seen there's a little checkbox when you get asked this Q&A? Are you logging in from a public or a private machine?
Yes.
Well, that checkbox is to update your profile. So if you select that this is a private machine, guess what happens? That MAC address gets updated into your profile. So that tomorrow when you log in with this MAC address, it will consider you as a low risk user. You understand?
Yes, sir. In some places I see it is like a trusted version, or like if you use different browser, it also says that.
Of course, so it takes a bunch of stuff, location, IP address, machine address, tons of these things are used to calculate the risk score. So all of this information needs to be sent to Cyota so that Cyota can do the check. Cyota does the check on their end, but it needs this information to come from CWS. Understood? All right, so now let's do the last, oops, sorry. Let's do the last of the use cases, which is use case number 4. Samraksha, you good to continue?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do this.
Use case for log on with the machine tagging. Detailed description. Log 4.1 description. Allow the user to log on to the client website. Actors, client, user type 0, CWS, database, empty server, web client tracker. So here the first user enter the URL for the
No,
CWS
introduce it. What is it? What is log 4.2?
machine.
No, it's a process flow diagram for,
Okay.
here we see a process flow diagram for the machine tagging process, right?
Yeah,
To say that, na, Samraksha, what are you expecting me to say the whole thing? She's all quiet.
this is the process flow diagram for machine tagging
Correct.
process. So first, user enter the URL for the CWS. The system, and then the system system check if the browser passed. So
Not system checks if the browser pass. System performs a browser check. System validates the user's browser, right?
yeah,
All right. You should use the word pass in the scenario itself. If the browser check,
passed.
no, those do fail, right?
Yeah. If the browser check fails, then the system display the error, and if the browser check passed, and then the user enter the name and password,
No,
and
no.
this
So
is
it's
the
missing a step here, right? So if the browser check passes, what's the system going to do first? It will load the login page. Remember, login page is not there. He just simply entered the URL,
Yeah.
right? So this is like, what bank do you use, Samraksha?
Bank of America.
So Bank of America. So how do you get to the Bank of America website? You first open your browser, right?
Yeah.
And then you enter www.boa,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
.com, right?
Yeah.
Before you enter boa.com, is the login page there?
No.
No, right? So you just entered boa.com, which was the first box, right?
Yeah.
And then you hit enter.
Yeah.
What is the browser doing? It is going to the server for BOA, right? And what is the server doing? It is doing the browser check. Are you coming with a supported browser? Is your Java up? Is your encryption up on the browser? Are your cookies enabled? You understand? It's
Yeah.
doing all of these checks, right?
Yeah.
And if all of these checks pass, what loads up?
The login page.
The login page, right?
Yeah.
But what happens if you're coming in with a unsupported browser? Your encryptions are not on, your cookies are not on. What do you get?
The system display the error.
Error message, right? Does the login page load up? No.
No.
Instead of the login, you get an error message, right?
Yeah.
Saying, please update your browser, turn on your cookies, please enable your cookies, turn on the encryption, whatever it's telling you to do, right?
Yeah.
Because all of these steps are in the browser check.
Yep.
Got it? After
Yes.
the browser check passes, that's where the login page loads, right? So that box they ate.
Yeah.
And
So,
after the login page is loaded, then only can you, the user, enter the
username and password.
correct. So since they don't have that, what you should read it as is system will load the login page where the user will.
Enter the name, username and password.
So you'll combine both boxes into one because they didn't put it here.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
All right. Then what?
This is the password is encrypted at the customer's PC. This is the call out, and then user submit the username and
Don't say to yourself, this is the call out. Just read the call out, right?
okay. Then user submit the username and password, and system verify the username and password, and this is the first level of authentication. If the verification is unsuccessful, so system display the error, and if the verification is successful,
No, you're missing something here, right? What's missing here?
system display the error. Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
System here, the system will display an error that you entered the wrong user ID and password, right?
Yeah.
And will prompt you to re-enter your username and password, right? So
Yeah.
that will be there. It's not there. Okay.
Okay. Then if the verification is successful, then the system display the digital flag on.
Again, you change the requirement on me. Where do you see the word display?
I said it by myself.
Yeah. Is there a requirement to display a digital key flag?
Mm,
No. You're introducing new requirements. Please don't.
okay.
Right? System will check the
Digital key flag
done. This is the
validation.
second level of authentication, right? The start of the second level.
Okay.
If the digital key flag is on,
On.
that box should say system will perform digital key authentication, right?
Mm,
But that's not your use case, right? Your use case is for machine tagging. So you do the no scenarios. And if the digital key flag is off, meaning the guy does not have a digital key, then The system will
send a request message to empty server. And you receive the risk score from the empty server.
So both are system. System sends the risk score and system receives the risk score.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah. And if the risk score is high, then system display the authentication.
Why are you doing the high?
Okay, if the risk score is not high.
Correct. Not high, me low.
Low, yeah.
Not
Low.
high.
Yeah.
If the risk score happens to be, you can even say, what's the number?
Sorry?
What was the number?
Less than 900.
Risk score is?
Less than 900.
Correct. That's the low, right?
Yeah.
So what happens?
Then the system display the home page.
Correct. You already know this, right? Might as well throw it in there.
Yeah. So
But if
if
the
the
risk score is
high, then the system display the
equal to or greater than 900, right? You know
Yeah.
that too,
equals or greater than 900.
right? I could have put that even in there, right? Instead of saying risk score high, right? I could have said if risk score is,
Yeah. If
you
the
know,
score if the risk score is equals or greater than 900, then the system display the authentication QA page. And if user answered the correct, if user answered the wrong, then the
no, you're doing it right. Do the
Okay.
correct, it's easier.
Yeah, correct, then the login is successful and system display the home page.
Correct.
And if the answer is incorrect,
Mhm.
uh,
System checks.
checks that we
The
are
failed attempt is
less than 3.
correct.
Less than 3. If the answer is yes, then the system display the authentication QA page. And if the attempt is not less than 3, then the system log the user for the 24 hours and log out, and the login system display the login page.
Great. All right. That is digital key. I mean, machine typing authentication. All right, guys.
Yep.
So I'm not going to go through the actual use case because Samraksha actually read 2 paragraphs on this thing, right? But it's the same exact thing what you've done on everything, right? Basic flow identifies the basic path. Alternative flow identifies all the negative paths, right, from the diamonds, right? You have the preconditions, you have the postcondition. That's it. That's it for the, not a lot of verbiage for this diagram, but a lot of detail given at the beginning, right? Any questions, guys? Everybody have a better understanding how to put together a use case, a graphical use case with a process flow diagram?
Sir.
Right? Now, guys, next week is your last class. Gotta get your homeworks in. And by homeworks, I'm going to also try to look at the very first homework assignment. We never did a review of your user stories. Did we do any user story review? No, right?
No.
So in the next Saturday's class, we'll try to reserve, like, we'll try to have the full 3-hour class, inshallah, right? We'll spend the first hour doing some reviews of the user stories. I'll try to at least do 1 or 2 user stories from each user quickly, okay? So if you haven't gotten those in, get those in also. So we'll spend the first hour doing a review of the user stories. And the last 2 hours, we will do the review of the use cases that you guys have submitted. Understood?
Yes.
All right, and then that will hopefully get you prepared for the evaluation that Rajni sir will be putting towards you guys. Any questions for this week, guys?
Sir, can you share this file, please?
I cannot. That's got my name on it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But the video is recorded, so you can always go back and look at the video and go through the whole thing, right?
Okay.
Right. So definitely, and remember, the videos are available to you guys even after the class is done. Your blog site will be up for about a year. Okay. So it's not the end. You should be going back and start to look at all the videos and all the notes and everything. You should be revising them right now because now you're going into the evaluation phase and soon they'll be starting your marketing and everything. All right. You are in a very beautiful spot in the sense that market is fully up trending right now. There's a lot of BA jobs and everything coming in. I see tons of BA jobs in the market. So, get yourselves ready, get your resumes ready, start the marketing, start getting those interviews rolling, start getting those interviews underneath your belt. Understood?
So,
All right. I'll see you next week. If you have no further questions, have a good day, guys. Apologies again this morning. I started really late here. I'm so sorry. Totally knocked out here. Hopefully next class won't be that there. Fingers crossed. Any questions, guys?
Can you scroll down just a little? Is that the bottom of the page? That's it,
Yep,
right?
that's
Okay, okay.
that's it. Bottom. Good. Oh, yeah, I also have for you guys, I have another one of my old BRDs that I put together. My own written BRD as a BA.
oh,
So if we get through the homeworks enough, there is an old IPS prospect advice BRD. Look at this. This I wrote. I somehow found it and I have it. I can show you this one also if we have time. This I wrote long time ago when I was in global wealth management. This is post-implementation AFIS. Look, who's the author? How old is this?
2009.
13 years ago I wrote this. And look at this. Who was I? 13 years ago I was a
Senior business analyst.
senior business analyst. And believe it or not, look at who my project manager was. Same guy that I worked most of my career with in City. Look at that. He was a senior project manager then, right? So here, remember I was talking about mockups? There's mockups in here. I put mockups in here. There it is. It's a screen mockup. So this is not a wireframe because it has look and feel in it. You see that?
Yeah.
They actually took this and the screen actually looked exactly like this. So this was a new screens that I was trying to develop. So we put together, this is one screen. This is another screen that I created the mock-up of what it would look like possible. This is the advice lookup mock-ups, pop-ups and everything, right? Good old days when I used to write BRDs and FRDs. All right. Okay. I will see you guys next week. Any questions? Next week, if you remind me, I have a sample FRD. I'll send those to you next week. I did it for one of the students. He needed an example to submit to one of his jobs. So I cleaned it up and I sent it to him. It's actually the FRD of the BRD that you just did. He wanted to see how well he writes. So I took one of my old FRDs and I cleaned it up and I sent it. So if you remind me next week, I'll send you a copy of that also. Okay. So you'll have some documentation which has some, writing thing. It's actually the FRD version of the BRD that you just did.
Okay.
All right, but you got to remind me from that next week, okay? Next Saturday. All right.
Yes.
Any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you guys for being so tolerant with me. I apologize for this morning, man. Apologies, guys. All right.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
No problem. We'll see you
Bye.
next week, guys. All right. And,
Yep.
we'll send you that goody FRD for you guys to keep and use. But don't you all be applying to the same job and submitting the same damn thing.
Sure.
So I've gotten 3 guys submitting the same thing for sample writing. All right, just be mindful of that. All right. Okay,
Yeah.
guys. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys next Saturday. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.